Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about the 5 things that I wish I knew before I started in the social media industry. So in case you don't know my story, I've been working in the marketing industry for around 10 years now and started my journey in the social media industry about 5 years ago. A little more, a little less, cannot remember. It all kind of blurs together at this point. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about are the 5 things that I wish I knew sooner, or almost wish I knew before I got into this industry, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective. Literally up until this year, I was a social media manager. Obviously I had roles and titles and job responsibilities other than that, but that's primarily what I want to focus on is for social media managers, what to expect. So the one thing that I wish I knew, this is why this is one's number 1, is that even if you have that role as social media manager, you are so much more. This is one job in the entire marketing industry, in the entire marketing bubble, that encompasses so many other positions. And it's also one of the toughest because a lot of people think they know what they're doing just because they know how to use social media. And let me give you some perspective because that sounds a bit negative. But for instance, an SEO specialist or a UX UI designer, nobody's going to go to them and be like, I know how to do your job because I know how to use this software. Or I know how, people come up to me and they're like, oh yeah, I know how to use Instagram. I could be a social media manager. I'm like, no, there's a lot more to it. And again, I don't want this to sound too negative. What I want to bring into the perspective is when I signed up to be a social media manager, I thought I would do just that. Sign up to manage somebody's social media. What that involves though is typically when you're working with a small business owner, or even when I worked for a Fortune 500 company, you have to be project manager. You have to be content creator, graphic designer, photographer, videographer. You have to be all these things. Then you have to also be the strategist. You have to come up with the strategy, execute the strategy, then actually manage social media, the scheduling, the posting, the commenting. That's the actual management part of everything. But then you also have to be an analyst and stay on top of trends and communicate that with your team if you have one. There is so much that goes into being a social media manager that people just don't see. And it's often just given this blanket statement. And if you're lucky enough to be a social media manager and work with a team that might have a designer, or you do have that project manager, that's awesome. But typically that does not happen. Listen, you found a unicorn there, keep that job forever. More often than not, as a social media manager, you're going to be putting on about 1 million different hats. Oh, and then they're also going to think that an intern can do your job. Okay, all jokes aside, we'll move into number 2. I don't mean that to sound negative. It's just the truth of it. I wish I knew in the beginning that there were so many things that go into social media management. But I digress. Point number 2. I wish in the beginning I knew how to set boundaries. And this is going to look different for everybody. But in the beginning, I would give out my phone number, my personal phone number, yes, I know, to my clients, and I'd get text and phone calls at all hours of the day. If there was a social media emergency, which there's really no social media emergencies, but there's a sense of urgency with a lot of clients. Just putting boundaries on if I'm going to deliver 5 posts for the week, sticking with those 5 posts and not going over. If clients ask for, hey, can we throw up 2 extra posts? Really sticking firm to your boundaries. And there's a lot of things that go into this, from the onboarding process, making sure those expectations are clear, making sure that it's in your contracts, all the way through executing it. But I wish in the beginning I knew how to set those boundaries, because what happened is I would often start to resent my clients for things that I allowed to happen. I would start to not like the work anymore because they asked for more posts and I gave it to them, or they would try and communicate with me after hours, but I didn't even tell them what those after hours were. So just setting those boundaries in the very, very, very beginning. If I can give you one piece of advice that you absolutely need to listen to, it's that one. Or letting them know, hey, we are taking time off on the weekend. We are taking time off for the holidays. Everything is pre-scheduled. Everything's ready to go. We will check in every so often to make sure there are no emergencies, but we are out of pocket. We are out of office, and just maintaining those boundaries and expectations. Number 3, how to actually price my services and not overwhelm myself with clients. And now, obviously, the grass is always greener on the other side. You always learn as you go, and everybody has to start somewhere. Yes. But in the beginning, I didn't know what the heck I was doing as far as pricing. And I thought, oh, great, the more clients, the better. That's more money that I'm making. And I soon realized I have 10 clients at $500 a month, and I'm losing my mind. Not able to deliver the level of service that I wanted to. I was not making that much money in the end of it because I was working 16-hour days, and it just wasn't bringing me joy, satisfaction, and I was being taken advantage of almost. So yes, while everybody starts somewhere, and no, you can't start in social media and charge $4,000, $5,000 a month off the bat, you can charge what you're worth and have your packages align accordingly. I wish I would have taken less clients, given a higher level of service from the beginning, rather than allowing a client to come to me and be like, hey, I just want like one post a day. Here's all the content, here's whatever. Can you do it for like a couple $100? And I would sometimes agree to that just because you're like, I need a client, I need the money. But instead going back and saying, hey, no, my starting prices are $800 a month for that type of package, whatever that looks like for you. But learning how to set my prices and be able to profit and be able to not work a ridiculous amount from the beginning is key. Shameless plug here. I do have a mini workshop, how to price your social media services for $97 a month. Link is below, just if you want to grab that. I do give the actual math, and it's no fluffy anything, so I can show you guys exactly how I came to my prices when I was running a social media agency. All right, and number 4, the fourth thing I wish I knew is that your systems are almost more important than the actual content that you're creating. And listen, I know social media managers, we are meant to post on social media for clients. But I will like to argue, I will make this bold statement that the systems in your business are far more important than that. It's going to help you be able to concentrate. And when you have these systems set in place, you're going to be able to focus on your creativity, serving that client, getting this amazing content out there for them on social media without having to worry about the back end. Because if you don't have the systems and structure in place, you might be creating Google Sheets every month. And you're like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. Rather than having like an Airtable space like I use that is duplicated each month. It's easy, it's to have it repetitive, and it's all in one place. Whereas like if you're trying to one month deliver your content calendar to your clients on Google Sheets, and then the next month you're doing it in PowerPoint, whatever that looks like for you, setting up your systems before you bring clients in, I'm telling you, will be a game changer and will save you so much time. And number 5, and again, this one, it is hard to wrap our minds around. Social media can become a 24/7 job. And at one point it did for me, that I was not only working for my clients 24/7, it felt like sometimes I was actually doing my job for them far more than I wanted to, but I was also in my downtime scrolling through social media to see how their posts were performing, to see how my posts were performing, to see what trends are happening. And I wasn't able to remove myself from social media, which, as you guys know, is not a very good thing for your mental health. So it can easily become a job that is 24/7. Again, kind of going back through all the things I just mentioned. If you aren't careful, this can turn into something that will lead to burnout. Believe me, been there, done that. So just knowing that going into this, saying, hey, having those clear expectations, having those boundaries, having those systems, recognizing what you can and cannot do as a social media manager will help you avoid this inevitability of the 24/7 job, or what it feels like to have a 24/7 career. So I know most of my videos are more upbeat and happy, and this one might seem like a little bit of a downer, but I just wanted to bring perspective to some of the issues that social media managers face. And if you're considering a career like this, help you avoid some of these things, because been there, done that, and so many of my peers have as well. And if we can help you just avoid even one of them, my job here is done. But if you guys want to learn more about this industry, how to grow your own social media business, I actually want to encourage you to join the Creative Content Lab, where I give away literally every single one of my business secrets in modules and templates and downloads. And each month we have new masterclasses from certain experts, and there's so much more. But if you are wanting to really grow your business in this industry, Creative Content Lab membership might just be for you. And you guys can check it out at the link below for more information. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.